In pageant news, just 2 nights left before a new Miss Universe is crowned. 86 hopefuls, including our very own Celeste Cortesi, will compete in Sunday's coronation event, set for 9 a.m. Philippine time in New Orleans in the United States. If Cortesi triumphs, it will be the country's 5th Miss Universe title after Catriona Gray in 2018. Many queens made the country proud in this competition. 10 years ago, Ariella Arida placed 3rd runner-up, helping set the pace for more of the Philippines' winning beauties. We get her outlook for this year's pageant as she joins us now from Perth, Australia. Ara, great to have you with us. Good evening.
Hi, Sir Rico. Good evening from Perth.
First of all, what did you think of Celeste's Darna-inspired national costume?
Well, actually, I think it has been a clamor from the fans since then. Whenever they would see our representatives to have their national costume, I would always see comments that they would want to see Darna one time to be like our national costume. And for me, it wasn't bad at all because Celeste actually strutted like very, very nice and very well during the time. And I think also because Darna is not so popular, like it's just popular for us locally. So now people would have like that envision like of a woman, like a Wonder Woman, that we have our local version of Wonder Woman that is Darna.
She has raised the profile of a Filipina superheroine on the global stage. And Ara, watching Celeste's performance during the preliminary competition, of course, the Darna costume, the swimsuit cape designed by kids from Marawi. Where do you think is she at this point of the competition? Is she a top 20 semifinalist? Some even say top 5.
Yeah, actually, Sir Rico, I was super happy on how Celeste is getting her momentum. Actually, she's very consistent from the very start. And I would love how calm she is because when you're in the competition, it's so hard to have that kind of mindset that your aura is calm and you feel like when you're on stage, like what you can watch to her is like she's very fresh and like I love how she would perform really on stage and I love that. And the momentum is on her. That's why I've been telling her, especially her friends who's in New Orleans right now, that keep the momentum on her. What she's doing is very right. And I think the mindset that she has right now is just so right. And for me, easily she can be top 6 because as what I've heard, so for this competition, so they would have top 16 and then the top 16 would have the swimsuit and the evening gown. And then from then, it's going to be top 6 and then top 3. And Celeste can easily be on top 6.
All right. We're all very excited here in the Philippines if she makes it to the top 6, top 3, and maybe wear the 5th crown for the Philippines.
Yes. And I love how Celeste, because on top 6, it's all about the Q&A. We all know that. And I love how Celeste would really answer so well, right from her heart. And I think like Paula Sugart would always say to all the candidates that you have to be authentic, and that's what Celeste is really. And that's how you would see her also when she would answer to her Q&A.
There you go. Q&A is the next question I have for you, Ara. Of course, you were in the same position in 2013. How did you prepare for the question and answer portion in the finals?
Actually, it's really nerve-wracking. It's like I almost like prepare for almost 2 years for that.
Okay.
You would have to read like anything under the sun. But like at the end of the day, that one question, I think what's really more important is you really have to know who you are. Because at the end of the day, you can think of like all the learnings that you had, but it's like what really your heart would tell you, and that instantly would give you the final answer on that nerve-wracking moment. And that's why I have really high hopes on Celeste because with all her answers, you can really feel how authentic she is, and she could easily nail the question and answer portion.
That's it. It's all about nailing that question and answer portion, which could catapult her to top 3 and winning the crown. But tell us, you were a 3rd runner-up in 2013. Is there any difference right now in terms of preparation then and what you're seeing right now with how Celeste is preparing for this competition?
Yeah, there's really a big difference, especially because during our time it was Trump era. That's how they called it. So during Trump era, we only had one Q&A. So it's during the on the top five when you're part of it. Unlike after that, it was the IMG era, which is like you have more the question and answer portion because during the elimination round, the top 16, everybody have to share about their personality, about themselves, so people or the judges would know how they would answer and how you are as a person. And then on top six, and then top three is like the final question for everyone. And I think it would be the same as now with the new owner because like for the top six, for sure they would have different question to all the candidates. And I would assume on the top three part, there would only be one question for all the top three finalists. So I would say every year it's getting harder and more challenging. And I think I'm lucky because during my part, it's not as hard as what I think it is right now. Because during our time, um, the photo shoot and all this like the pasabog that they're talking
Uh-huh.
about are now are even more intense and girls are even more prepared now.
And of course, the topics of conversation these days are really very vast. No? So they will also be testing the intelligence of each of the finalists. Share with us in 2013 on Pageant Night, what were the preparations like for you, Ara?
Of course, Sir Rico, like that night of the final, I would remember. I was really praying and praying because I know that's the only thing. Because I know that I have prepared so well. I did my homework, and the only thing that I need to is like I really need to pray hard. Because at the end of the day, it's really destiny. Whoever that girl would be on that final night. So on that night, I keep on praying because it's the guidance that helped me through. Especially during that night, it was really Yolanda. So it gave me more strength as well to really compete and to fight for the Philippines. So it's all about it because at the end of the day, like especially during the finals night, which is so near now, 2 nights away,
Yes.
it's like all about your learnings. But when you're in the final stage, Sir Vico, like everything is so quick, like super quick.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have to think about it. It's all about what you have learned. You just have to apply it like very quickly. So just keep on praying because at the end of the day, it's that guidance that would guide you through on the stage and how you would feel about yourself.
Yeah.
So, and also most important is the mindset that you have during the day. It should be all positive, like eyes on the prize, like keep on praying for the crown because if you have that kind of laser focus, it will help you really to really push throughout that whole competition.
And Ara, of course, the next big change at Miss Universe 2023 will be allowing mothers and married women to compete. Is this, in your view, what's best for the competition going forward?
Well, actually, it's kind of surprising for me that they're opening with this kind of new rules and regulation for the candidates. But like as what I have been telling, like ever since, like when they allowed the transgender being part of the competition, I think every year there would always be new rules coming up because I think Miss Universe want to be relevant and want to to feel like everyone is part of their organization.
Yes.
So, so yeah, I think every year there would be surprising rules and regulations that would come up, and yeah, I think we
And
have to
Ara,
deal with it.
and Ara, 2 nights left before the main event this coming Sunday. Celeste will be texting you. What 3 words would you advise her before the pageant night?
3 words.
Yes.
Have fun, pray, and focus.
Miss Universe 2013 third runner-up, Ariella Arida, joining us from Perth, Australia. Thank you so much for those inspirational words.